Hey kiddos, it's Mr. B. Why are we, oh, I know why we can't start the second camera, because it's being occupied by Zoom at the moment. So at the moment you won't be able to see me, but you will be able to see this. So it is what it is. So this is week 2, trimester 2, and this is the work that you will be building this week. Here's what it's ultimately going to sound like. Now, I am referring to it as a close encounter of the major second kind, because it reminds me a little bit of like E.T., and it reminds me a little bit of Zelda even, kind of at the same time. So we're going to talk a little bit now about how we made that track. And so I am going to use this as my reference, but I do notice that my tempo right away is at 91. And the 3 instruments that I'm going to need this week are a grand piano, deep harmonic waves, and an oboe. And the biggest challenge for me is going to be remembering where those are, in fact. So coming in here to our clean track, creating our song, Alchemy synth as usual, Epic Cloud Formation is going away, going to keyboards and classical grand. So steps there we've done a number of times. And we want to have our keyboard set up so our C4, C5, C3, C4, that's our middle C nonetheless, and put us back into glissando. Now, tempo change this week is going to be at 91. I just chose it because I liked the tempo in the context of what we were doing this time. The other thing that we have to attend to this time, however, is time signature. Typically, we've done things in 4/4. This week, we are going to do things in 6/8. That means that there are 6 beats per measure, and then an 8th note gets the beat. And we'll be talking more soon about those formal notations. But just know that an 8th note is half of a quarter note. And a quarter note takes up 1/4 of the measure, theoretically, right? So in this case, we have 6 beats in the measure, and there are 6 8th notes that are going to be there. So that is our setup there. And the pattern that we're playing this week is a cluster of 3 notes. So only 6 notes is all we're playing initially in this piano track. And it is C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because this is a whole step, also known as a major second. So going from C to D is a whole step. Remember, this first week we did this interval, a minor second, which was a half step. The whole step is a major second. So whether I'm jumping up to it or playing them in unison, it is still a whole step. Keep in mind that means that this is a whole step. And this is a whole step. This is a whole step. And this is a whole step. This is even a whole step. Actually, this would be. So keep in mind, we're doing 1 note in between, right? The pattern, though, that you're going to play in time with the rhythm that we have, or rather the beat in 6/8 is. So the meter is going to come in, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to play that. And for right now, we're going to keep the metronome on to help keep us honest. Now, I made a mistake there, and I don't want to keep it. I'm going to redo it. All right, flawless that time. So we are back here. We have our classic grand. Now the next track that I said that we needed, and we'll come back here, and the way I'll check that is to go down here to song 14. The next song, the sound that I need is deep harmonic waves. And I believe I found that in an area called vocals. So I'm going to go ahead and add us a keyboard. And this time I'm going to go ahead and change it and go down here to vocals. And deep harmonic waves is my choice. Now, also, the other thing I want to make sure, looking at my sample work, and you don't need to go back and forth, obviously, but I do. As I look at this track, I want to make sure that I got us in the right context. So the octave I picked is between C4 and C5. So that's the window that I want to make sure we have, C4 to C5. So good that I checked that. So we go to scroll, C4 to C5. And then I like to leave myself in the pitch area because I like that sound. Now what we're playing though this time through, so we've got that piano part doing the, so what we're going to play along with it is F and F sharp, which is a whole step, a major second. We're going to play F sharp and G sharp. And then we're playing G sharp and A sharp. So while we've got this sixth thing going on, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to modulate up. Modulation is when we're playing the same thing, and then we're either moving it up or down an interval as a set, as a full set. So I'm playing this interval relationship, which is the major second for week 2, and then I'm keeping that interval relationship, and I'm keeping it again. So we were playing whole steps, major seconds in the initial pattern, and now we're doing the same thing, but 1/3 of the total time. So that's how this one will play out. So make sure our carriage is reset. And I'm going to leave that little mistake in there. Gives it a little bit more of a sci-fi feel. And that's what you might consider a happy accident. Then the last instrument that you need to add this week is an oboe. And a friend of mine, his grandfather actually played oboe in the E.T. soundtracks. Originally, that music was expected to be something else. Williams was asked to compose the scariest music he could consider, and then it ends up being used in E.T. It's pretty intense stuff. Really great music. The next track that we're looking for, the next sound that we're looking for is oboe, and I believe oboe is in other. Yes, oboe is in other. And I also want to check, just as I did last time, that in my my sample work when I was building this, that I'm in the right octave context. So 3 to 4 is the octave that I want to stay within. So we've got our oboe here. Yep, that's our oboe track. And 3 to 4, I kind of want to move us here. And again, I like it in pitch only because if you want to play with it. So this is a solo that I invented. This doesn't exist in any other context. And so the way I played it, and it felt very kind of Zelda to me, is it's F sharp, G sharp, A. So whole step, half step. So a little bit of this week, a little bit of last week. And we're keeping that same relationship with the second part. Yep. And then, and this obviously from here to here, this is more than, this is a step and a half. So it's 3 triplets. That's the first part. Then the harder part, for those of you who are willing to take the challenge, is this. So that's like the buffer for the loop. So the real pattern is and it's really just the black keys and the B occasionally. So now we're going to record that. And this solo is harder. So if you don't get it exactly, that's okay. See, even I messed it up right away out of the chute. Let's do it again. And so with that, you'd bring yourself back to this scroll position, and you would record screen, push play. And so that is week 2. Let's call it again, a close encounter of the Maj2nd Kind. Thank you all.